Joe Hopkins here, and today I'm going to give you a couple little tips on how to split your guitar signal. Now, why would you want to do that? Maybe like me, you're a guitarist, and maybe like me, you record music, and maybe like me, you want to mic your amp and get a DI signal into your interface. Or maybe you play live and you want to hook up two amps, or have two whole separate effects lines, two different pedal boards, two different amps, or maybe you're using one pedal board. Doesn't matter. You want your signal to go in two different directions, and you want to do it and have it sound good. And also, if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you how you can use this same kind of thing to get rid of latency in your recording or through your interface. I got a little tip for that. First of all, don't use this. This is a 1/4-inch splitter. It looks like it would work, right? Because you plug one end into the guitar and two guitar cables at this end, it should work, right? It doesn't. The signal does go two different directions with a whole lot of feedback and noise and all that crap. It does not work. Don't do it. I have this for stereo equipment, but there are other things you can do. They make things for that. They make things for everything. First off, I have a DI box, right? This is a pretty cheap one. You can spend money on these if you need to. In my case, I don't need something fancy. I don't need something terribly expensive. So these, I don't know, anywhere from 25 to 40, 45 bucks, depending, something like that. This wasn't a lot. This was, I forget, like 30 bucks, something like that. It's made by Pyle USA, Pyle. I was either going to get this or the one made by Donner. They all work about the same. You have an input. See, it's all labeled on there, so it helps you find it if the light isn't reflective too much. You have an input, right, which is a 1/4-inch guitar input. Instrument input, you have an output, same thing, 1/4-inch, and on the other side you have an output. Well, this is a balanced in-out. I guess you can use it as an in. I don't, because I need it as an out. It's an XLR, it's balanced. You kind of want to use balanced cables with it. I bought a 2-pack of them for this. You have a ground, right, which some things you want grounded, sometimes you don't, real simple. I find when I set it up through my thing, it works great, but I turn the ground off or it makes noise. I get a humming. So, and then you have your ATT, I forget, was it attenuation? I don't know, something like that. You can just switch it to -0 dB, -20 dB, -40 dB. I'd say if you get one, fiddle around with it, see how it works. Now this is passive, so you don't need power to it. It just basically takes your guitar signal in and puts it out on a 1/4-inch and out on an XLR. Works great for me because I want to mic my amp and have that DI. So there you go. I can have the XLR go to my interface, and the 1/4-inch out go to the amp, and then use the other input on my interface, my second input, to mic the amplifier. And that works pretty damn good. Works excellently. And if that's what you want to do. There is another option. I have here a buffered splitter. This is made by Mosky Audio. They're fairly inexpensive. You don't also, like with the DI box, you don't need to go with anything fancy because it's a pretty simple concept. It just takes your signal in and buffers it so that you can have two outs. So this one takes power, the same 9-volt plug that you use for your guitar pedals. So this is made for like a pedal board. If you're playing live and you want to go out to two separate amps, this is the way you'd want to go. This or an AB box. I don't have one of those because I bought this instead. I just need both signals on all the time. If you need to switch between them, they have what's called an AB box. A lot of those have a foot switch on it. So, not all of them, but some of them do, where it's like a guitar pedal, like this. It has a foot switch where you can switch between A, B, or A and B. that is a great option for those of you who want to play live with 2 amps and switch between them. If you want to switch between this amp and that amp, or have them both on, however you want to do it. Another nice thing with these kinds of, with these ways of splitting your signal is if you want to record in stereo and you want to record through 2 amps or whatever, that kind of thing. Anytime you want your signal to go in 2 different directions, these are great ways to do it. This one seems to be better for use with an amp and an interface like I'm using, but there are a lot of other options. Pretty much any instrument. I think the instructions that came with this showed little diagrams where people are running stereo systems through it and then to their interface, that kind of thing, along with a keyboard or whatever. This is guitar based. I imagine you could do things like keyboards and that kind of crap through it too, but it's aimed mostly at guitarists. That's why the power plug is like you'd find on your guitar pedals. Now, like I said, for those of you that stuck around, I'm going to tell you how to deal with latency in your recording. I recently bought a new computer and put a really good processor in it. So my latency is down a lot. But before I did that, when I had my old computer with a much lesser processor, I had to deal with latency. Mostly because with any of you that record know that the more stuff you're running on that session, the more like tracks you have and all, the more the processor has to work, and you have to start upping your latency to get it to not pop and crackle and make all kinds of noises. So how do you deal with that latency? And I did find a nice little trick with these, because it occurred to me, along with splitting the signal, I'm also, I'm running it through my amp, and most interfaces like this one right here, right? They have the ability to go back and forth between your playback and your monitoring, right? What you're hearing through the thing. And most DAWs have the ability to turn off monitoring for certain things. So what I found is you can up your latency so that you're not getting, so that it's recording well, right? You're getting the best recording, no pops, crackles, noises, that kind of stuff, right? But then when you play, you hear that latency, bump, that, makes it hard to record stuff, to actually play. So what you do is you turn off the monitoring to your guitar or whatever instrument. So you're hearing the playback, you run that little knob that goes between playback and what you're hearing about halfway, and then you use your other signal, you mic that amp. So what you're hearing is through the microphone of that, because of your amp, because you don't have the monitoring turned on. You have the recording turned on to your instrument, but not the monitoring. So you're hearing the playback and directly what you're playing. So you play along to that with 0 latency. The playback, if you're just recording to the playback, you're not getting latency, right? If you're using an acoustic guitar, you can kind of just put on your headphones and record it and listen. You don't have to monitor it because you can hear that. But electric guitar, you need to hear it. So yeah, if you're listening to what's coming through the microphone from the amp and the playback without monitoring what's actually being recorded on the DAW from your guitar, yeah, you can get rid of that latency. And you need one of these or one of these to do that. That's just a nifty little trick that has occurred to me, and I tried it out, and it works. It takes a little bit of fiddling with volumes and that balance between playback and monitoring to get that down right. But for any of you that kind of get what I'm talking about, yeah, that way you don't get the latency, because yeah, just makes it easier. Makes one less problem to deal with, right? So there you go. That's some tips. I hope they've been useful. Yeah, if you guys need anything like these, I'm not going to put links or like a million different brands of these. Just go to Amazon and look them up. Look up buffered splitter, DI box, AB box, that kind of stuff. Type it in, you'll have all kinds of options come up, and unless you really need the more expensive item, they're all about the same. You know, they all do pretty much the same job. It's a rather straightforward little bit of electronics there. And if any of you guys try out that little tip I had about the latency, let me know if it works for you. You know, leave a comment. Say, tell me, hey, did that work for you, or are you having problems with it? But yeah, and any problem you have, think about it. Anything you have, if you think about it a while, there's a solution. There's a way around almost anything. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Speaking of my recording, you should check out my music. At the end of the video, here's a playlist that says Talking Dogs. That's my album, right? I have it on YouTube, and it's on, if you look down in the description, there's links to streaming. And you should check it out because it rocks, all right? So, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I love y'all. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.